I would say that spirituality is a way of life. It is not something that we need to adorn. You and spirituality are one.
Is spirituality connected to detachment? Meaning, if a person thinks of becoming spiritual, does he become detached too?
Detachment from what? Detachment from material objects, from food, from relationships. It's a very large bandwidth of detachment in different areas. Spirituality definitely aids you to detachment. It takes you there.
If people are not on a spiritual path, would that affect humanity?
It's already affecting. There are so many people who are not spiritual. There's so many of these human beings who are not spiritual, who are following the darkness, who are moving in dark spaces and they don't even know that they are doing it. And they are in so much of the lower consciousness that they are, kind of just lost in the maze.
Hi, I am Minal Lalwani, a seeker who likes to know about life and its deep secrets. From my soul to yours, I welcome you to Deep Talks. We have with us today Dr. Anita Rajani. आज हम बात करेंगे जिंदगी के रहस्यों के बारे में, आप, मैं और डॉक्टर अनीता रजानी.
Hi, Minal. Thank you.
Hi Anita, it's so good to have you here and talk about life and its secrets. So, tell us today one simple thing which goes on in my mind. Does one choose spirituality or does spirituality choose you?
Very, very good question. Um, I would say that spirituality is a way of life. It is not something that we need to adorn. It's not something we need to, like it's not like religion. It is something that becomes you. It is you. You and spirituality are one. We say, no, the spirit. Our soul is a spirit. We even call it by another name, spirit. So it is spirit is spiritual. So it's just the same thing. So it's actually, we are all spiritual beings on earth, experiencing earth by itself. So there is actually, you cannot even say ki I am choosing spirituality. In
Okay.
a way, you can say that spirituality chooses you.
Okay. Which means that there is no two-way about it.
There is no two way about it. That's the only
Spirituality
path
is
that we
the
have to go.
path.
Yes.
That's nice. That's really enlightening. Okay, so we've often seen that some people will suddenly say, I have chosen the path of spirituality. So, how does one set on the path of spirituality?
Life opens up the path whenever there is a problem. Normally it is, we have seen in the way and course of life, whenever you are going through something called the dark night of the soul, when you're going through your transformation periods, challenges, where life is taking you to the rock bottom, then there is no other way than for the soul to evolve. So the soul chooses the path of spirituality because now there is nothing else. There is nothing else they can choose. So spirituality or the universe comes to the aid of the person to help the person move to the next level, and that is where your journey with spirituality begins. Now you will have this question, okay, maybe there are people who are already spiritual in the terms that they are already
Yeah.
following the paths, and
Yes,
what
some
about
of them
them?
are, yeah, born spiritual. Like they're always meditating, always being very, very
Or
religious.
living a high quality life, like spiritual
Yes,
life, like
yes, yeah.
they might be having all the material benefits, but they must be, their way of thinking would be spiritual. That is because they have done all that work in the past lives and come.
Okay,
Their
past
soul is
life
already to that
evolved.
level where they are spiritual enough. It's like they're more evolved.
Evolved, yeah, yeah. That's nice to know. Okay, when one chooses the path of spirituality, how do you think one becomes detached? Is spirituality connected to detachment? Meaning, if a person thinks of becoming spiritual, does he become detached too?
Yes. I think eventually, And detachment is a very large bandwidth. Okay, so it is not like, so detachment from what? Detachment from material objects, from food, from relationships. It's a very large bandwidth of
Right,
detachment in
right,
different
right. Yeah.
areas. It's a process of detachment. But yes, spirituality definitely aids you to detachment. It takes you there eventually. There will be when you raise your vibrations, as you're raising your vibrations, as you're coming higher and higher and higher, you're living your spiritual path and you're ascending. So when you come to that point, slowly and automatically, things won't matter.
Things
So
won't
it's not that you're
matter.
striving to it. If you will say, okay, just take for example, I will give you my example. So, when I started Reiki 20 years back, I was a non-vegetarian eater, and normally, as we have Sindhi families, we eat non-vegetarian food, and
True.
so you were vegetarian, in fact, and there were so many times as we were children, you used to be like, why are you eating this non-vegetarian food? And I was like,
Yeah.
it's okay, I love it, and I'm not going to leave it for you.
Yeah.
Even when I went into Reiki and when I started my spiritual life and whatever, I evolved in so many different areas. I never stopped, non-vegetarian food, and I was like, okay, as long as both are going hand in hand, I'm fine with it. My Jain friends would come and tell me, why are you eating? I said, I'm going to respect what I feel. I'm not going to fake it for anybody.
Yeah.
So it's not going to happen like, okay, I'm spiritual now. I'm not going to have like, non-vegetarian food. So I'm not going to do that. It has to come from within. That would be the day when I would not want to eat non-vegetarian food.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so crazy that this year I have begun in Jan, Feb, whatever, and it's been like, wow, I just cannot eat non-vegetarian food. So even when I look at it, it doesn't give me, the temptation.
Temptation to
It
eat.
doesn't give me the taste, or the taste buds are not like appealing to me. Or in fact, I'm like, oh my God, what is this that I
Yeah.
was eating for so many years? So when your vibration, so the frequency comes to a certain, level, you will automatically
Automatically leave
leave this. So
it.
spirituality aids you towards that,
Detachment.
to detachment.
Also, you don't
And
have to be very attached to the results of whatever you're doing or whatever you're not doing.
yes,
You just have to be on your path.
yes, like how Krishna says, no, in
Yeah.
Gita, karam karte jao, phal ki
फल
chinta
की
nahi
चिंता
karo.
नहीं करो.
That is again, what does it mean?
What does it
It
mean?
means that, okay, I am trying to do something, I'm trying to reach somewhere, but it's not about the destination. It's
Yes.
about your journey to the
Journey.
destination. That is, see, now let's take another example. Like God creates hunger. He has created something called food. And for that hunger, what do? We work,
We
we have
work.
goals, then we
Yes.
have desires, we then without those desires, then we have other desires. So
Yes.
everything is about earning the money to make food and eat
Yeah.
the
And
food.
basically, it's just do wak ki roti which we eat
Yes,
and we sleep and we strive for. But in
yes.
the quest of it, we just go on and not
We're doing
realizing.
positive things, negative things, we are creating so
Yeah.
much karma with that. So
Yes.
as we will understand and as we grow, all these things start settling down in your life, and life becomes simplified. It
Simplified.
becomes very simple. You might have a Merc or a BMW, and you might be using the best of everything, but it will be in a very detached way.
Detached
Means you
manner.
have it, you have it, you don't
Don't
have
have
it, you
it. You
don't
can
have
even
it.
travel by your local transport if you.
Yes,
So
if that's the
that's
need.
the kind of lifestyle you should be actually aiming for. Not
Yes.
running after money. If money comes its way,
Money will come.
money will come.
If
You
you
don't have
follow
to be
your
attached
gifts,
to
if you
it.
follow your path,
Yeah.
your soul journey, if you are on the right path, money has
It's
to
to
come.
come.
Money is the end result of, it's like a byproduct.
It's a byproduct.
You just have to focus on what you want to give to the world. You have to focus on your gifts, to evolve your gifts and bring your gifts to a point where you are a master of your own, your creativity. Money will come.
Money will come. And you don't have to be attached to anything. I mean, you're trying to say, so if you are on a spiritual path, detachment will happen.
Automatically.
And it will not even cause pain. You will be like okay with that
It will
life.
be an automatic by the way process. You You don't have to like sit and do something for it.
So, if people are not on a spiritual path, would that affect humanity? Do you think humanity would suffer if we didn't have, if we were not conscious, if we were not spiritual? Would it affect us?
It's already affecting. There are so many people who are not spiritual. There's so many of these human beings who are not spiritual, who are following the darkness, who are moving in dark spaces and they don't even know that they are doing it. And they are in so much of the lower consciousness that they are, kind of just lost in the maze. They're just lost in the entire journey and they don't know where they are going. There's so much of pain and suffering. Whenever there is a pain and suffering, that means you're not one with God. You're not one with universe. So everywhere, even in your life, if there is a pain and suffering in a certain area of your life, that means that area of your life is ego based and it is not spiritual based.
So, what would you give an advice to people who not everybody like is religious? Some people believe in some god. Some people are atheists, yet they believe in something like
Yeah.
positive force.
Yes.
So, what kind of life would a person who's not Hindu and religious, and what would he do?
Oh, you can follow any religion. It's not about religion. Spirituality and religion are two separate things.
Yeah.
An atheist, he might be an atheist, it's fine. As long as you're a good human being,
Huh.
you're following the rules of the spiritual world,
World.
you are being a good human being, you're compassionate, you're not doing bad to anyone, you're not cheating, you're not on drugs, you are following the path of living a rightful life,
Yeah.
of
Virtues.
honesty, of goodness. It's a good enough. You don't need to follow anything. And somewhere, even an atheist would always know that there is something there, even if it is just the sun, the moon, or the nature, or
Yeah. The
the sea.
universal
It could be,
forces.
yeah,
Yeah.
anything.
There's no denying them.
They will be, loving that. Even,
Yeah.
they might be believing in nature.
So it's not important to follow any particular religion, any particular guru or saint. It's just the laws of the universe, also, if we follow and lead a nice life full of humanity.
Yes, that's enough.
That's enough.
That's spiritual enough.
And what is your take on karma? Karma, suddenly, it's everywhere. So I wanted to know, especially from you, what is karma?
Okay. Karma, like how they said, it's your actions or your deeds. Now, what does that mean? Okay. Um, Say, for example, I I'm sitting here and suddenly I get up and I sit on this side. Somewhere here. There's a sofa here or something here and I sit. So it's an action. I've got up and I've sat here. Now, this action itself is not karma. The thought and the intention behind that action is your karma. Now, how would we say, for example, say a old person is coming and I want to give them a seat. So I get up and I sit there and I allow them to sit. So I have done a
Good
good karma.
karma. Yeah,
But for
obviously.
example, there is a person who's coming this way and I don't like the person. They're going to come and sit next to me and I'm judging them. I'm getting angry and I'm like, I don't want to sit next to this person.
Uh-huh.
And I'm getting up and sitting on that side. The action is same. My action
But
was
there's a
same, but
thought,
my
there's a
thought,
negative
my
thought behind it.
intention was two different things. That
Mm-hmm.
is how we create karma. So
Okay.
karma can be just very simple as, again, like I am doing good deeds, I'm going and doing charity,
Yeah.
I am giving the poor food, I'm going to an old age home, taking. But if I'm doing it from an intention of getting something back, then I'm not doing a full good deed, right? It might be a good deed still, but
Mm-hmm.
it would not come from a level where, you would be regarded as the good deed. It
Mm-hmm.
would be like, okay, you're
But
doing
does
this.
that add up too, or no?
Of course, it adds up, but not to the level that a selfless, unconditional space where you are just being and enjoying yourself with these old people in that old age home,
Mm-hmm.
or you are actually feeling that joy when you are sharing food with someone without any returns, expectation of returns. That's completely another level.
This is very insightful. So it's not just your actions, but even your thoughts which create
It's
karma.
mostly your
A person
thoughts.
has to be mindful about it
Yes.
too.
Being mindful is the only way to live a healthy spiritual life. Being mindful about your breath, being mindful about your actions, being mindful about the way your body language is, the being mindful about the food you're eating, being mindful about the work. Is your work coming from an honest space? Where is it coming from? So, being mindful is the only way to grow.
Since we have reached this topic of mindful, so can we ask you the next question? How does one adopt mindfulness? So nowadays we see, there are many nuclear families and we don't have many elders giving away good values to children. Earlier, people were attached to their elders and they had aunts, uncles coming in, somebody or the other, sharing knowledge or good thoughts with the children. So, what kind of how can you live a mindful life?
Like I said, observing yourself. A part of you should observe yourself all the time, 24/7. You have to observe yourself. How are you going to observe? Like how I get up. How am I treating my staff at home? What
Hmm.
am I calling them? How am I expecting my partner to behave with me? What am I giving my partner in return?
Hmm.
How am I as a mother or a father?
Hmm.
And how is it, where am I coming from? Where are my emotions coming from? Are they coming from wounded selves? Are they coming from my wise self? Am I
Hmm.
taking decisions that are coming from my wise self? Am I getting stuck in something? Am I getting angry unnecessarily? Am I creating trauma for someone else? Am I getting into, allowing the triggers to make me react in situations? So, being observing yourself and then helping yourself out. There are different ways to help yourself, right? Like you can do a meditation, you can go into, you know, just being with the nature,
So
going into
again,
yoga.
yeah,
There are
yes,
so many different things just, that
yeah.
can help you out of it. Maybe even if you can devote an hour or half an hour every day to it, or maybe once a week, thrice a week, if you can do something about it, there's nothing like it.
I think our generation was blessed. We still had, elders around us, and we inculcated all these values of um,
Prayers and
prayers and rituals, etc. Rituals are not that important, I'm sure. But how does the generation? I can see this very shortcoming among the new generation, among the kids. They are not at all aware about how mindful they should be. Like, for example, if a child has a driver, servants, he'll be quite a brat. Not always. I'm
yes.
not saying always. Parents have to really keep a check on the way that they talk to their children. And for that, even in schools, they consider the teachers not to be teachers, they consider them to be paid servants. It's that way. It
Hmm.
comes from a very different
Belief pattern.
belief pattern. So all this is dying. You see the way the culture is slowly dying. It is all becoming like they are paid, so they have to
Yeah,
do
there's no
this.
respect to the teachers. We used to treat them as gurus,
Where
and
we during our
for
times,
us,
I
they were
mean now
like,
also, like we treat our servants also so well,
hmm.
try to be respectful towards them. But nowadays the young children, there's nobody to guide them.
Hmm.
So how do you think we should send across a message to the young ones?
By behaving yourself properly. Children are
Hmm.
only watching you.
Hmm.
Whatever you teach them, whatever books you give them to read,
Hmm.
or wherever you send them for the spiritual classes, nothing will work as long as you don't live. You have to live it for your child to learn
Yeah,
from it.
but nowadays it's a
If you are going to speak lies and you
uh,
expect your child to be truthful,
yeah.
how does that work? If you are not going to respect your staff, how is the child going to
But
respect the
in today's
staff?
world, the parents are busy. They are being brought up by the staff. So, how can you inculcate mindfulness in children? What should they
It's not
do?
about the time, no, it's about quality time. It's not
Hmm.
about the quantity time.
Hmm.
The only and only responsibility of upbringing of a child is of the parent.
Okay.
No one else can do anything about it. Whatever you do for the child, it's not going to work till the parent does not. The way the parent walks, talks, acts,
Children mirror
children
it.
are only mirroring it.
Yes, yes, definitely. Okay, so we were talking about karma and we landed up talking about mindfulness. Again, coming back to karma, this is my favorite question. Why karma? You say God is ever loving, unconditionally, He loves you and He accepts you however you are. So then why the karma? Why does He maintain a book?
Otherwise, you
This.
will become a spoiled brat.
Okay.
If he's not going to maintain that book, how are you going to evolve?
Hmm.
So, my understanding again, I don't know about other people or this can contradict to other people's belief, but what I have understood from life is only what I can share here.
Yeah, right.
Um, for me, what I understood is that when the universe began, we are all strands of the same God. So
Hmm.
we have all separated from the same God.
Yes.
Okay. And we have, when we initially separated from the God, we fell into darkness. And from there, slowly we have emerged, growing, raising our vibrations, coming to better light beings on
Yeah,
earth.
yeah.
And you can actually see in the past, if you look at it, the Stone Age and, all those places when the civilizations existed, there was so much of, there was not so much awareness.
Awareness, yes. They
Okay.
used to kill to
Yes, they
eat.
used to
Yeah.
kill to eat. There were
There
cannibals.
was
Then there was,
survival of the
yeah, like
fittest.
even if you look not very far, 100 years
Mm,
back or
mm,
200 years back,
mm.
about everybody wanting to conquer the land and being
Yeah.
this king and I'm the this and this is all mine. This is ego based.
Uh-huh.
This is not universal concepts. This is about me, I, me, myself. The
Awareness was not there.
grandeur of palaces, the grandeur of, all the king's clothes and everything,
Yeah,
the how many lands he
egoistic.
owned, how many countries he owned. It's all ego based.
Yeah, yeah.
So now you will say, why did God create that?
Huh.
So God also wants to experience itself. So as we are, now this is a concept, I will just explain. So, say the vibratory level of the universe was here. Slowly, as we are evolving, the universe is also evolving. That is also about, which is written in my book, Shiv
Huh.
Shakti.
Okay.
Shiv and Shakti are the two, parts of the whole, the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And Shiv and Shakti are experiencing themselves through us, or the divine feminine or masculine are experiencing themselves through us. And as we evolve, the collective consciousness of the humanity evolves, universe also evolves. So if this is Brahma and here is Vishnu and here is Shiva, so if Brahma evolves and comes till the Vishnu level, Vishnu goes up to the Shiva level, Shiva goes up to the higher level. And again, the same thing keeps happening and we keep on
Mm.
evolving. So that is the whole concept, according to me. And what I have understood is that's how we keep evolving.
Evolving.
So universe is also experiencing the good, the bad, everything through us. That is why there is positive and negative coexisting. And that is why the earth is in duality, because without a hot, there cannot be a cold. Without a day, there cannot be a night. Without a night, there cannot be a day.
Two
The
sides
sun
of
has
the
to rise and
coin.
the sun has
The
to
yin
set.
and the yang.
It's the yin and the yang, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Breathe in, breathe out. It's in all parts of your life. There is no part of your life that can escape this concept of Shiva and Shakti or the divine feminine and masculine.
That brings us to consciousness. So, we are born in this human life. Why do we have limited consciousness? And why are we so attached? Why is there attachment? And you also say, in opposite of that, to be conscious. And if a person has vast consciousness, wouldn't everyone just be meditating and going off to the hills, becoming a sannyasi? So how does this work? Meaning, should be if you are not conscious, you say you're not conscious. If we are very conscious, we would be all running to the hills and meditating. So how does a person
So it's a very
live?
wrong concept when
Okay,
because our minds are so attuned to thinking, okay, if I'm evolved, I would be on a mountaintop sitting and meditating. But that's
right.
not what spirituality or ascension or growth
Consciousness
or
is.
having a higher consciousness all about.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
could be living a normal daily life and yet being doing very good to the world. You could be doing so much for the humanity. You could be earning from that. So it's not necessary that if you are a highly evolved soul, you'll be sitting in some cave and
Meditating away.
sitting and meditating. That's not at all how it is. So limited consciousness, like I again said before, that the universe is experiencing the limitations that we break and we evolve, the universe is also evolving.
How does one resolve past life karmas? We are born with a certain, in a certain family, with certain friends, with a certain financial background. How does one get past all this and resolve the past life karmas?
Okay. So let's understand. These are for people um, who might not even believe in past lives. There is a certain karma that we have come with. So they say our height, our body, the way our body is built, the way the parents, they're good,
Yeah,
bad, tough parents, good
yeah,
parents, lenient parents, the kind of parents we have, the kind of siblings we have, the kind of houses we get married into as women, the kind of mother-in-laws, father-in-laws, husbands, in-laws that we face, that the immediate circle of the family that we have, like that's your question, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
how do we get out of this karma?
yeah,
So
yeah.
the only way to get out of this karma is to live the karma and
Hmm.
clear the karma. Okay? It is about going through the process and
Hmm.
evolving. So, say for example, you have a difficult parent
Hmm.
or you have a difficult child.
Child.
Forget a marriage, you can divorce and move out, which again has its own. We can discuss that and have another long conversation on it. But say, for example, a parent or a child who are your immediate, you cannot divorce them,
You
you
cannot
cannot
divorce
get rid
them.
of them.
No.
You can walk out of your parents out, you cannot even walk out of a child. है ना? They are the most, you're most attached to them. So, why do you experience having a difficult parent or a difficult child? So, we all know again as, oh, it's your karma, it's how we have come with. And so, what? Now, what do I have to do about it?
How do you resolve
How
it?
do I resolve this? Okay, now I've
How do you
come with
get
this.
out of it?
So, sending gratitude, sending
Ah,
forgiveness, energy of forgiveness. So, it is like in any past life or any lifetime, even this lifetime, maybe this lifetime, past lifetime, in any spaces and dimensions wherever I have, troubled you. So please forgive
mm,
me and I forgive you. Maybe I'm holding on to something and you're only mirroring me that.
ah,
I don't know what it is. For that, you have to go into a very deep level to understand. So, very simple for any human being to understand when they have difficult people. Send them lot of love,
love and
send them
light.
lot of light, send
Yeah.
them forgiveness,
Forgiveness.
and you forgive them.
Ah.
And let your heart be open with them.
Hmm.
Very difficult. It is not easy.
It's not easy.
Especially someone you hate. You know that
Ah.
HAT, I hate this
Oh, you
person.
have strong relations with
Yeah, you
them.
have the most, they affect you the most. So when
So
we have
yeah.
that, it's the most difficult, but you have to, okay, it might take
And
you 4 years, 5 years, 10
and they
years,
are
20
also your
years.
biggest teachers, right?
They are your
The
biggest
people whom you
teachers.
hate or
Yes.
you have strong ties or connect with, they're also your biggest teachers.
Yeah, but example, no, this life is a stage.
Yeah, it's a
We're all
stage.
doing a drama and playing a
Yeah.
role. Now, who will play the most difficult role where they will tell you, okay, you can hate me? I don't want you to hate me. But the person who loves you the most will
Most
say,
will do
it's
that.
okay, you can hate me. Now, let's see it in another way. Say, for example, we are playing a role and there is a Ram and Sita and Hanumanji and everyone, but someone has to play Ravan.
Ravan, yeah.
Someone has to play the Ravan and have people to hate him and kill him. The villains of our movies, Hindi
Yeah.
movies,
And we learn a lesson from them
how
by
much we
looking
used to
at
hate
their,
them. Initially, when there was not so much exposure, people used to hate them. Oh, this man
yeah,
is so bad. He goes and
the
rapes all the women in
protagonist
the.
and the antagonist.
Yes.
The
So,
antagonist is always giving us a lesson.
yeah. Yeah. So, the evil is only here to show
Show us
us
the good.
the good and show us, okay, this area of your life is dark.
Dark.
Throw
Work on
light on
it.
it. Work on it. Put the light. Let it evolve. Come out of it.
Yeah. So day and night. happiness and sadness all go hand in hand.
Yes.
And that is why we appreciate the good things in life.
Yes.
Had it all been green and good
You'll
and
get
good,
bored.
yeah, you'd not know the value of it
Yes.
and learn to appreciate
Yes.
it. How can we break free from the negative karmic patterns and cycles? I think you just now said that forgiveness helps.
I think forgiveness is the highest way you can clear a karma. Highest, biggest. Because if you have not forgiven, तुमने कितना भी अच्छा काम कर लिया, whatever you have done in the world, you have spiritually evolved, but you have not forgiven one person also. Your spirituality, your essential will get stuck there. You have to forgive. So that is the eventual way to moksha.
Forgiveness would be related to people.
People, events, experiences, it can be anything.
How can you forgive your experience? Meaning,
Because
if
you'll
you
be angry at God, you might be angry at life, you
at
may be
life,
angry at your own destiny.
so how do you forgive that situation?
By
Meaning,
understanding that's all meant to be. By accepting where you are, by being in complete acceptance of life as it is. If I
surrender.
have to move from A to B,
I have to surrender.
first accept the A.
Accept the A.
Accept I'm in the
that you are
A.
here
Accept I'm here. Accept that
fully.
this is
Own it
not
up.
okay for me, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
And that's where I want to be. But okay, it's okay if I'm here. And then will I be able to get up and move there?
Mm-hmm. But you do agree that prayers and forgiveness and all these kind of meditations,
It's the only way out.
they help you to,
It's the only way
like you
out.
said, from point A to
So they're
point B.
tools. They are all tools that have been given to us by the universe. They're different tools like yoga, meditations, chanting, mantra chanting, going to a temple, praying, doing Reiki, whatever. There's so many tools, so many healing modalities, but only use it for your good and use it to where you want to go from. The universe has provided you with everything: aromatherapy, bark remedies, flowers. Nature is healing in itself.
Yeah.
There is so much there that is there for us to take and heal ourselves and move ahead.
How do you think we can support others on their healing journey?
Only and only by holding their space. So, I have a loved one, and the person is going through trauma or going through a hard time. Maybe my child, maybe my sibling, maybe my best friend. It could be, and it's like, oh my God, I can't see this person is going through this. So,
Suffering.
God, please
Help him.
help this person or give me his problems. I will take over.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So many people do that also. So you cannot take over anybody's problems. You are not here to live other people's problems. You are here to deal with your own problems. You have enough of your own problems on your head. Deal with them. What you can do with others is hold their space, make them feel heard.
Heard.
That's the most important thing, because I think 99.99% of the people don't feel heard.
They don't feel that somebody's
Make them
listening to
feel
them. Yeah.
acknowledged, make them feel loved. They make them feel that there is someone with them. Okay, listening to them, holding them when they are going through the process of transformation, and they will themselves come to a point where they will be able to process it and emerge the winner. You don't have to do anything else. In a detached way, you have to just be with them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So just being with a person,
It's more than enough.
yeah, gives him quite support to sail through his difficult times.
And when you feel heard and when you feel supported and when you feel loved, automatically you get the strength to go through the process.
Also, we have to understand that it is his life path.
His
It is
journey.
his journey. This is something which he has to learn a lesson in this lifetime
Exactly.
itself. So help him, be there for him.
Because if you're going to take it over, it's like a child learning to walk. If you're every time going to hold his hand, he will, from the fear that he'll fall down, he will never learn to walk.
And he'll again have to come for all this again.
Yes,
He'll never
and-
learn that life lesson.
Yes, and then he will have to take again a birth or go through the whole process again. You're not helping them, you're hampering their growth.
Hampering their growth.
Because from everybody's problems and transformation, they only emerge a winner.
Yeah, they do.
There is no other way out.
True. So is gratitude important to clear karma? How important is?
Gratitude is very, 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 very important because, like I was explaining earlier, also, like there is so much that we take for granted,
Mhm.
as much as our blinking our eyes,
Yeah.
as much as the water on our tables,
Mm.
as much as our movement of our hands and our fingers. Forget going further than that.
The breaths that we
The
take.
breath that we are taking, because it's invisible, we don't even
Yeah,
realize
and
half
they
the
say
time.
it's numbered. It's written, right? The number
Yes,
of breaths that we take, and
yes,
you'll never know, and you'll just fall
yes,
flat. It's that
yes,
way.
yes,
So when your breaths are numbered, we have to be so much in gratitude.
yes. So, gratitude is the key to happiness. Gratitude is the key to joy. Gratitude is the key to doubling your positive karma. Gratitude is the key to magnetize your energies. Gratitude is the key to attract what you want. Everything is all about gratitude.
Okay, there's one question which I have not written for you, but I'd like to answer. I'd like you to answer it. So, what kind of a life should a normal person lead so that it is, it is helping him in his soul's journey? We are here to talk about life or uske rahasya. So, what is the secret that a person should be following? You are PhD in so many streams, Anita. You know me. I truly respect you. For the audience, I'd like you all to know that we are actually very good friends. And she was just a friend, but she turned out to be a master in everything that she's ever touched. During school days, also, she was a different person altogether. And this respect, which is, it comes out of knowing a soul who is so evolved. She's written so many PhDs and done such profound work in soul searching, in finding the secrets of the soul. So that is why we are here on Deep Talks, like we said. So I'd like to ask you today, once again, that what kind of a life should a person on this earth, who's arrived on this earth, be living so that he reaches his maximum potential?
um, a life of humbleness, humility, simplicity, staying rooted and yet being able to reach the stars, like the firmness in their belief of goodness, hope, knowing that the universe is always there, and yet doing what needs to be done. Always understand one thing: you are here, born here for a reason. You're not come here just to have fun. Maybe sometimes there are some souls who come to have fun. Maybe it's their rest lifetime.
Huh.
But most of us have come here to do some work, some
Okay.
serious work, like clearing some karmas. So if you have come to clear karmas, you're a karma yogi. So go ahead, do it. If you come here to reach God or to attain moksha, do it. Don't get attached to things that are, so there will always be detours. There will always be distractions. Okay, universe will keep testing you with everything. If you start following God, or you become more stronger in your faith to God, suddenly there will be so many problems pouncing on you, and you'll be like, what is this going on? I started believing in God, and now I have so many problems. I don't want this. You might run
These are
away.
all tests of
These
time.
are all tests of time. If you can understand the test, and if you can move it, if you are able to bring your gifts out, and if you are able to live your life on your soul purpose for whatever you have come with, if you have the courage to do that, because again, there will be obstacles, lots
Hmm.
and lots of obstacles to bring you on your path. It can come from outside, it can come from inside your family, it can come from anywhere. All sorts of things will happen. Are you courageous enough to move beyond these hurdles, these stones which are placed in your path? Are you making a castle out of them, or are you using them as roadblockers and just
Pathways.
waiting there and saying, what do I do now?
Hmm.
So that is your journey. It is your free will, what you have come with.
So, a person who has to cross this journey should be mindful
Always.
and lead a path of humbleness, integrity, rightful
Honesty,
means of
rightful.
earning, all
Yes.
that. Last but not the least, Dr. Anita Rajani, a message for the audience. Can you give us a strong message for the audience?
My message to the audience is always and always is never to give up. That is my mantra. Because, like I said, life is always going to bring in hurdles. It's going to be tough sometimes, it's going to be easy sometimes, especially if you have dreams.
Hmm.
If you have certain dreams and if you have certain goals, stick to them. If there is an inner calling, something is telling you have to go from A to B, do it. Do not
Wait for
doubt
something
yourself,
else.
not believe in yourself. What am I supposed to do? Feel to hota hai, magar karun kya? These are all doubts. The mind will keep creating the
No
doubts.
doubts.
The key is to be in touch with your inner voice. The key is to be in union with your soul. The key is to be in connection with God. The key is to be in harmony with the universe, be in gratitude, be in forgiveness, and live a life of beautiful
And
life.
have deep talks with your soul.
Yes.
So, this is our serial today, the first episode of Deep Talks. We had a wonderful, very, very enlightening session with Dr. Anita Rajani. It was eye opening to know so many things from you today, Dr. Anita Rajani. I'm so glad that I could be a part of this.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Minal, for this wonderful session we had. It's really enjoying, and I hope that the audience has got something out of it. And they take back, that's the goal of Deep Talks, that
Yes.
they take back a lot of wisdom which they can imply in their daily lives
Yes.
and they can use it to free themselves of their challenges.
Thank
Thank you.
you.